So an object is, when we say object, and you might hear Java called an object-oriented programming language, an object is a specific instance of a class, and it has both state and behaviors. So the example here is if we create a string called myword and set it equal to a new string that contains the word Java, then myword is the object, right? This is actually a variable that refers to an object. The class of this object is string, right? And so string is the template. It's the generic idea, and all strings are going to share things like behaviors, right? So every string has index of, has substring. It has those methods. Those are the behaviors. And then the state of the object is basically how that class was defined when we created the new one. So we would say that the state of the object, myword, is that it contains the word Java. And the behaviors of myword are things like substring and index of. These are the methods that come with it. So a class is really just a template for an object, or the blueprint for an object. And later in this class, you will have the chance to define your own classes. But for now, you're just going to use the classes that you already have available to you. So the two classes that you've already seen are strings and then also scanners. But like I was saying earlier, all string objects share the same methods because they're all following the template of the string class. So if you remember, there's a couple things I wanted to show you about classes and objects that are kind of helpful for remembering them. All right, so if we create this string object, set it equal to a new string. Let's say this contains hello world this time. Again, for vocabulary's sake, what we've done here is created a string object. String is the class, and myword is the object. Another type of class you've used already in this class is, and I realize I said class twice, but you're going to do that a lot in APCSA, is the scanner class, right? We actually had to import this, but we declare a scanner in almost the exact same way that we declared a string, which is we call, of course, the name of the class that we're creating, give it a variable name, set it equal to a new scanner, and to create a scanner we have to actually pass in a input stream. So that would be system.in so that we can read the input that a person types here. Now again, here what we have is created a scanner object. Scanner is the class. Right? And so in each case, you notice that we have a variable and we tell it what type that variable is going to be. And then we actually say new and then the name of the class type that we're creating. So each time we're creating an object. Now I do have this string here called myword. I can also type in another string. Call this word2. Set this equal to a string. Goodbye, world. And this is now a second object. But they both have the same class, right? And that's the key here, is that objects are a specific instance of a class, right? And what you're going to see later on in this class is the way that objects of the same class share similar behaviors. All right, so one last thing to point out is that you notice I was using this new keyword, new, right? This is what actually allocates the memory where we're going to store our new object. And so anytime you see that word new, that means that we've allocated new memory space, and there's going to be a name of the particular class that we were creating, an object of. All right, so at this point, this is kind of theoretical, so I think it's worthwhile to go ahead and read through the summary of this lesson, and then there's a couple activities to give you a chance to review this content.
All right, folks, that brings us to the end of Lesson 4. And you should now have some level of comfort with classes and objects and the differences between them and the relationship between those two ideas. Remember, a class is kind of like a blueprint, and an object is like a house that you build based on those blueprints. All right, now you're going to have a chance to practice on your own defining and working with classes.